Zarkhator replayed the memory of what Sonic.exe told him, that being there's more than just one of me. He wasn't sure if Sonic.exe was bluffing here or was being sincere. Nevertheless, he pressed on, making his way to the location where he hoped to find the other entities that they call themselves EXEs, and they were located in a castle that was Lord X's castle. Zarkhator couldn't really help but snicker a little at the thought of how many Sonics they are, almost feeling pity for the real Sonic having too many impostures. Zarkhator arrived at Lord X's castle. The door was surprisingly opened, as if the castle itself expected him to arrive. He walked inside and got a good look at the castle. It looked decent with fancy details. What really caught his eye, though, were the statues of what must be Lord X. Zarkhator smirked a little, a bit amused at how this castle was designed for a simple EXE. "Hey, buddy," an unknown voice then spoke. Zarkhator looked around before getting into fighting position. The figure then slowly stepped out of the shadows to reveal himself. As usual, Zarkhator called it simply another Sonic entity. Perhaps the original Sonic.exe was right. There were more than just one of him. This Sonic entity was dark gray and had a large grin with jagged teeth. It then spoke again. "Nice to meet you. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog." Zarkhator snickered. "Yeah, sure, I hardly believe it. The real Sonic is the blue, not gray," he replied. "Don't mind him. His actual name is 2017X. Another unknown voice spoke, slowly stepping out from the shadows. Another Sonic.exe entity. This one looked like the original, but its facial features looked a bit different. Zarkhator raised an eyebrow as he stood his ground. More and more Sonic.exe entities entered, then started appearing from the shadows as they all surrounded Zarkhator and grinned wildly. Zarkhator snickered. "Guess the original Sonic.exe I battled wasn't wrong. There are more than just one of them." "He told me you'd showed up." Another unknown voice spoke slowly before stepping out of the shadows. The final Sonic.exe entity had a dull color and had a large X carved on its stomach. "Let me guess, you're Lord X?" Zarkhator asked. "Yes, you are correct. I am Lord X of All-Father of the .exe entity," Lord X introduced. "This here is Miss Sega." She gestured towards one entity with one red eye pupils before continuing to introduce the other EXEs. "You already met him, but that's 2017X, the one who actually believes he is the real Sonic the Hedgehog." Then he points to another .exe entity, and that one looked like the original Sonic.exe, but with different facial features. "That is 2011X. He came from the original Sonic.exe. You know the differences between them?" Lord X continued introducing all the X's. Zarkhator looked at the one as Lord X did so. "Right, here is Sonic.omt. He may look like the original Sonic.exe, but he has different features. He can turn into any type of grotesque abomination. Next to him is Crimson X. He is much shorter than the original Sonic.exe. Next to Crimson X is Manjin Sonic, the one with the anonymous mask-like looking face. "Who's the spiky-armed one?" Zarkhator asked, interrupting Lord X. "That is Colossal Souls," Lord X replied, pointing at the X entity with the fleshy arm full of spikes and bone. "He is the only brute in the family. He doesn't really talk. And lastly, right over here is Fleetway, all the powerful supersonic EXE entity. Xenofangs and Crimson Violet Crystal.exe, Tails, Doll, and Tripwire. They're the last EXE you want to refer to as Faker." Lord X pointed at the last Sonic.exe entity with the blank expression. "Geez," Zarkhator spoke. "This amount of Sonic impostures is just as bad as amount of humans impersonating Elvis Presley." Lord X chuckled. "I suppose you could say that, but you have stepped into our territory, our world. Think you could take on all of us?" "Not like I need backup here," Zarkhator replied before activating his death claws. "Ooh, claws! Now that's what I call action!" Fleetway yelled. "What should we do to this four-armed demon first?" Xenofangs asked. "I'd say we tear off all four of his arms," Fleetway shouted, "one by one. Then we tear his wings apart," Sonic.omt spoke. Zarkhator smirked. "Try it," before teleporting. "Huh? Where did he go?" Fleetway yelled. Zarkhator then appeared behind Fleetway and rammed him. Fleetway yelled out loudly as Zarkhator then rammed into Exanophanes before then striking at 2011X, 2017X, and Crimson X. See? Don't need backup. 2Es. Zarkhator's speech was interrupted when Colossals charged and impaled him with his fleshy spiked arm. Zarkhator grunted as he was flung against the wall by Colossals. Zarkhator slowly got up, regenerating his wound where Colossals impaled him. Didn't see you there, he then spoke with a smirk. Colossals tried to charge and impale Zarkhator again, but Zarkhator quickly widespread and made Colossals get in his fleshy spiked arm stuck on the wall. Colossals then struggled and pulled violently to try and get his arm free. For a brute, you should try watch where you're charging, Zarkhator spoke before dashing and ramming into Colossals. Tailsdoll and Tripwire tried to go at Zarkhator, but they were pushed back by Zarkhator's telekinesis. The constant clashing, warping, and teleporting between Zarkhator and the X's was long-lasting. But after some were knocked out and stunned, Zarkhator stood up from Sonic.exe. The entity began shape-shifting into various types of grotesque forms, made of flesh, blood, and decayed corpses. Zarkhator just scoffed. I saw worse, he muttered, before ramming Sonic.exe with after a long-lasting showdown between him and the shape-shifting entity. Exanophanes then began to summon crimson dark crystals, either from the ground or sometimes launching them at Zarkhator like missiles. Zarkhator dodged them one before ramming into Xenophanes. Fleetway then burst in a fit of rage before grabbing Zarkhator and slamming him against the wall. You're really starting to get me heated, he yelled. Aren't you already heated? Zarkhator asked in a cocky tone before pushing Fleetway back using a shockwave. Fleetway was sent flying back, hitting a nearby wall. Fleetway was dazed. Some of the rest of the EXEs, Lord X began to clap slowly. Zarkhator snapped his head towards him. Well, perhaps the original Sonic.exe was right. Even another immortal can beat all other immortals like us. Despite how long our fight lasted, you never stopped. Guess our plan to break you have failed, Lord X spoke. Zarkhator stood his ground, prepared to now fight Lord X. Let's see what you can do, old-timer, he spoke. Lord X grinned widely. If you insist, ready or not, here I come. Lord X then charged at Zarkhator. Zarkhator teleported and reappeared behind Lord X, attempting to strike him, but Lord X quickly grabbed Zarkhator's wrist. Zarkhator felt this, but he didn't hesitate to headbutt Lord X. Lord X stumbled quickly, but recovered as he teleported and reappeared behind Zarkhator, grabbing him and pinning him back onto the ground, trying to choke Zarkhator. Zarkhator grunted and growled loudly, while Lord X grinned menacingly. Let's see how you get out of this one when I try choking you to death, Lord X spoke. Zarkhator then started to chuckle. Pathetic move, he replied, before kicking Lord X square in the face. Lord X stumbled back. Zarkhator then quickly got up and pinned Lord X down fist first onto the ground. Lord X then let out a bellowing roar, declaring victory. Lord X let out a choked laugh. You won fair and square, he spoke. Now get your fucking dirty hands and feet off of me. Zarkhator quickly got off Lord X, and Lord X stood up slowly, dusting himself off before continuing to speak. You may not be like an EXE like us, but your strength, speed, and powers have piqued my interest. You almost earned my respect here, Zarkhator. We shall meet again next time. Now kindly leave this castle before we change our mind. Zarkhator nodded once. He didn't have to say anything further. He opened his wings and dashed out of Lord X's castle. It will only be a matter of time before he and the .exe entities meet each other again.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties. And as always, stay pretty.